Let me just put this out there first. I don't really care who gets elected, and I don't have a control. I guess we'll just wait and see. So, this is really just my view on the platform's immigration section, which was supposed to be a big part of this whole 2025 election until after Trump. So this is just our thoughts and comments on the book. So I will start with the Liberal Party's platform document, which has about 1 page-ish. And then I'll move on to Conservative parties, which is also about 1 page. And then I will wrap up with my thoughts. All right, so let's start with the Liberal Party's LPC, a Mark Carney-led government. The first 2 bullet points is really about the immigration control, or like the temporary resident, and the permanent resident control. These are not new. These are existing policies. As a matter of fact, the control on temporary resident, the 5%, is actually a step down, or like they delayed. Last year in fall 2024, IRCC submitted their 3-year level plan, which is like their work budget, like future plan for 2025 to 2027, their like intake of permanent resident and temporary residents. At that time, they were targeting 5%, meaning like only 5% of population is temporary resident. They were targeting 2026. Now they're pushing to 2027. I don't know if they're going to push further if they get elected. I got a feeling maybe they will. Regarding the 1% of Canadian population as permanent resident, like that's their intake target. Again, back in fall 2024, their level plan, they had a downward trend of the PR intake. I believe it's around like 395, and then that's 25. And then in 26, it goes to 365, and then it stepped down again to 380. And then in 27, they were saying, okay, we'll step down to 365,000. All these numbers are within 1% range. What they were saying is that, okay, we are going to commit beyond 2027. But bear in mind, this is 1% population as a cap. So I'm not sure, like, does this mean, because in 2025, I think Stats Canada has a number that Canada has a population of 41 million. Now, if you see 1%, that's like 410,000. That's a lot of number comparing to your like 2025, 6, 7, like comparing to your current budget. Does this mean the intake of immigration will go up? Meaning, because the population is trending upward in Canada. So if you keep 1% as a cap, does it mean every year you are actually taking in more and more permanent residents? That's just how I see it. And then the third point, global scale strategy. This is not something new either. This is already existing in the whole immigration practice. There is a LIMIA exempt work permit. There's a LIMIA stream or subgenre that it's called like global talent stream, GTS. So if the employer apply under GTS, I mean qualified employers, they don't even need to run job posting. I think many Canadian will be in shock if they realize that at the company, when they hire foreigner, they don't even need to run the job posting, meaning testing the job market to see if there's a Canadian to fill the job. So you can just directly submit to Service Canada, tell them, okay, this is my labor market impact assessment. Can you approve it? So this is existing practice. I guess I don't know why they list out as a bullet point. I mean, I guess it's because this part, because it's more like a response to the ongoing tariff thing with the US. But overall, this is not something new. The fourth point is also about job market. It's about like the in-demand positions, like foreign credentials. I guess they're saying about the doctors, nurses, international professionals. Yeah, I mean, again, there are many provinces they're trying to do this. I mean, they have ongoing discussions, but I'm not sure will there be actual changes, because I think in Nova Scotia they had some pilot about like speeding up the credential recognition. But the thing I felt very strange is because like giving out credentials to practice, I think it belongs to the province. It's not a federal thing. So yeah, all you can do is just work with, right? Just work with provinces. And I don't know how it is related to immigration. Does this mean that they get faster PR status? Okay, next point. Fair and faster processing of citizens. Okay, this digital service, again, it's been multi-year effort. I mean, most of the applications, they are applied online, and they have some decision support tool, not even AI, just decision support tool that helps frontline staff of, IRCC office staff to make application decisions. Basically speed up the application decision, so you can render a refusal or approval much faster. Obviously, there will be a lot of errors made in the process. The current situation, well, in the industry, or like what's going on, is there are just too many mistakes made in the decision. So there are growing number of litigation cases, like judicial reviews, that's piled in the court waiting to be assessed, I would say. And that's just giving a lot of pressure to the whole system. I don't know if it's a good idea to just making more applications go through this decision support tool. And I mean, I don't even know who to blame, because yes, more people are trying to apply to Canada. It's always going to be more and more people every year. It's necessary, but right now, the current digital service, whatever tool they have, is not actually helping. That's just my feeling. It's this. Next one, supporting legal aid for asylum seekers. Yeah, this is, it's there. I guess they're just trying to say, okay, we will expand our support. Free legal service for like refugees. It's always there. Next point, moving forward with credit fair system. Okay, sure. Then strengthen the integrity of the border. So, is it? So this is like a CBS say but isn't this like tariff thing that they announced in February, like buying like choppers, stuff like that? That's already announced, if I remember correctly. And then continue and respect immigration, both PR and temporary, with the Quebec. Yes, because Quebec is independent when it comes to immigration system. They run their own programs. Last one I think is very interesting is about the Francophone immigration outside Quebec. So they are targeting 12% of basically newcomers by 2029. They're aiming 12% will be Francophone immigration. But the problem is the assessment of Francophone or not is French language. So you can have like anyone can take French language. So it's just an easier or like faster immigration pathway. And as a matter of fact, if you go to Job Bank, which is the government job posting website, the amount of English speaking and French speaking jobs on the Job Bank, like the proportion is not making sense for them to push for 12% target. I just don't get it. And in 2024's level plan, they have already increased like to 8.5% in 25 and 9.5% in 26 and then even 10% in 27. Like there are not that much French speaking jobs outside Quebec. Even these people come with French ability, then what? So I don't really see the point. I'm saying from immigration point of view, it's just going to be a like easier pathway or like lower requirement stream for people to get Canadian permanent resident status. I think the only party benefit from this will be those providing French language training. The last one, strengthen federal provincial territorial. Yes, okay. I think this is talking about PNP, provincial nomination streams. Again, back to the level plan info. Sorry, I keep on referring back to the thing because it's like a budget for IRCC, how they are going to allocate the quota of the immigration intake. So within this level plan, they reduced the PNP quota a lot. Many provinces got their headcount cut by half. Like right now, a lot of provinces, they're basically the PNP streams, it's like paused. There's no activity. Like Ontario has not invited any regular streams of provincial nomination application for 4 months. Everyone is waiting to see after the election if there will be changes, but right now they're on vacation. That's how I feel. Okay, let's take a look at the conservative parties regarding the immigration. They have a lot of qualitative talks, which I cannot actually get what they're trying to say, or like from operation or like from immigration practice point of view, I don't really get the message. There are not many numbers. Only like one is that they mentioned they want to limit the PR level to Harper government. I went back. Well, actually, ChatGPT went back. We did some number digging, and I think back in Harper period, that's around 240 to 280,000 intake of new immigrants each year. Currently, again back to the 2024 level plan that announced in fall 2024, they have this budget of 390 downward to 360,000 planned new intake. If conservative keeps this promise and then aims at this number, there will be a lot of reduction in permanent residents. But from a case point of view, there will be a lot of backlogs, and I don't know if they're going to cancel some streams or like they're just going to return all the applications. And okay, let's go to the bullet points. First point, I don't get it. Keep the rate of population growth. Okay, population growth, but Canadians' population growth is primarily immigration, right? So here it says you want to have a target rate that equal or similar to Harper government, and then here you're saying your population growth, which is primarily permanent resident, to below the rate of, well, there are 3 variables. There's a housing growth, which is one variable, then there's job growth, and then there's another qualitative variable, healthcare accessibility. I don't know how this is going to be carried out, because I get the message that they will reduce immigration numbers. This is just I don't know like which variable do I take, and does the rate of housing growth, job, and the healthcare, what if this rate is able to support more immigration intake than this number, right? What if they can support 300,000? I mean, that's what left to be found out, I guess. Second point, reject the radical liberals, and I don't know, because go back to the Liberal Party's platform, they didn't mention anything like this. I don't know why they're putting here as immigration related bullet point. I mean, and frankly speaking, I don't think there will be people in Canada believe in this, like 33.5 million for Toronto. I don't know, maybe 2 century, 3 or 4 century initiative. That's possible. I mean, it felt like a pipe dream because people. I mean, if we go to any mega cities in Asia, they will like the scale comparing to what Toronto is right now. I don't know who believes in this. I mean, and it's more like I felt the right here is, I mean, it's more like a political stance or like a messaging point of view. But again, like Liberal Party's platform didn't mention anything about this central initiative. It's more about like the related persons of this initiative with with that party. Yeah. So I don't know. The third one, require union LIMEA pre-checks. Right now, LIMEA application, one of recruitment activity before applying LIMEA is to consult with the union, see if they have Canadian applicants or like if they have like Canadian to fill the job. So this more like to me, it felt like an additional paper procedure or extra work. I don't think it will materially or like will effectively have too much control on the LIMEA because I can imagine that they will just change the program requirement for the LIMEA and on top of all the existing supporting documents, they will add a new one. Say if your company is is unionized, then you need like some ABC support letter or like a whatever LIMEA support letter from your union, and then that's it, job done. And then Service Canada can continue approving this kind of application. Fourth point, criminal background check for individual entering Canada staff department. Yeah, this was more like responding to the former immigration department IRCS minister Mark. They had it was on the news. In practice, I think most of applicants, when they come to study and work in Canada, they submit police certificate. I would just write PCC, police clearance. They will submit upfront. And many offices overseas, they actually require the applicant to provide this document. So I think the issue or like what happened was that it's not 100% equally applied to all the overseas offices. I guess that's what's happening. Again, back to the actual practice, people will often submit, like I would say most of the applicants, we submit the PCC together with the application. So, yeah, I mean, that's not a big issue over here, I guess. The last two about deportations and removing people, it's actually not, I mean, it takes time. I mean, removing people from Canada is not like buying a ticket and shove them onto a plane and then just fly them out. There will be procedure, and sometimes they need to do pre-removal risk assessment, stuff like that. It's not like, yes, I get the spirit, you want to speed up the process, but chasing down people in Canada and then make them leave Canada, it takes manpower, it takes resources, and it takes time. But I get the spirit. We have to respect the procedure. The final part is about Quebec. Talk about Quebec. Number-wise, there's only one point saying they will work with Quebec to basically reduce the non-PR by 50%. When I read this, my immediate reaction was, okay, maybe it's about the refugee claimants, because they had a lot of in Quebec, and then last year they tried to talk with other provinces to persuade them, the Ontario, like Atlantic provinces, to persuade them to accept some refugees from Quebec. I'm thinking that's maybe what they're implying here. Yeah. Other than that, not a lot of new information in this platform. Okay, some closing thoughts. Last year, the former resigned Prime Minister of Canada had a video actually talked about their decision on reducing the immigration target. He even went on to a podcast interview. He mentioned that the immigration target was fine. It's the problem with temporary residents. So my gut feeling keeps on telling me that the Liberal Party will not reduce immigration once they get elected. So the number will go up. That's just my feeling. Again, I don't have evidence. I guess, I think, I speculate with a very high conviction that Liberal Party is elected, the immigration number will go up. Yeah, I don't know the numbers they discuss in the platform, how much or like how many will be kept or delivered. Another point was I remember the former immigration minister, I think some interview or like he said that converting the temporary residents into permanent residents is also one of the solutions to reduce the temporary residents in Canada. So overall, I have the feeling that, again, I don't have evidence, so it's just my feeling or like my analysis tells me that if Liberal gets elected, they will likely, or like the immigration, the amount of newcomers coming to Canada will likely increase. The Conservative, yeah, I feel they are willing to, or like they want to, or it's always been their plan to reduce the immigration target. But again, they want to keep it in line with housing, with jobs, with healthcare. But the problem, I mean, for Canada, we need people to build houses. We need you need population growth to drive up the demand and then create more jobs. And also like you need more international trained health professionals. Like I totally agree. I mean, so it's kind of conflicting. On one hand, you want this number to go up. On another hand, you want to control the newcomers. So I don't know how they're going to actually execute on this or like deliver it. I still couldn't figure out. I mean, it's a little bit confusing. But I get their spirit, like I get their intention. They want to bring the newcomers, the absolute number, bring it down. But in the meantime, there's another problem is the very, very high temporary residents, like the amount of people on work permits, work study permits, visas, or like refugee claimants. There are already a lot of people, like the population size of this group is large. I don't know how they are going to address this. Because if they block the pathway, the way to reduce like newcomers is they either reduce the quota of immigration or like they just cancel the applications or like they just return the cases. For many temporary residents, that means their way to get PR got blocked. Like they study or like work in Canada for many years. I mean, what if they don't want to leave or like what if they stayed? So for that, I feel like the Conservatives platform, I don't know how they're going to carry out the executions or how they're going to deliver all these changes while balancing everything that they promised. Here, everything is about immigration side, everything. I don't know about other parts they promised in the platform. But just from pure immigration point of view, in summary, like if, again, it's just my personal opinion, if Conservative Party got elected, they will try to bring down the number of immigrants, but it will likely cause more chaos to the system. But for Liberal Party, I have a strong feeling that they will bring the number up and will lead to more newcomers.